What is funny about white liberals is we will cry about fascism and systems of oppression when those systems of oppression come knocking on our door, but flat out ignore that for years, millions of people's homes and lives have been buttressed by these systems of oppression. This message is for the Democrats. I hate you.
There are a bunch of liberals and Democrats angry in his comment section, and I really have to ask the question, why? Because you've already lost him. You've already lost hundreds, if not thousands, of other voters. But you're not paying attention to one important fact. You all have also gained quite a few. Have you noticed that? There are a bunch of people cheering on Biden's actions in Gaza. Why do you continue to try to campaign to the people you've lost when you've gained so many? There are a bunch of people celebrating the genocide in Palestine. You have the neo-Nazis, you have the alt-right, you have the evangelicals. Many of them have been cheering all of this on. And you share something in common with them. Because genocide is not a deal breaker for you. And them celebrating it means that it's not a deal breaker to them either. You all have a whole new pool of voters you all could be talking to. And for whatever reason, you all still seem focused on this demographic you have lost. Why is that?
All right, guys, so we got to talk about some more bad news for sleepy Joe Biden, okay? It looks like heading into 2024, he's going to have some serious problems getting re-elected. And part of the reason why is because the victimhood/oppression coalition of the Democrat Party is falling apart. And the core of the victimhood/oppression coalition of the Democrat Party are young voters. Young voters who are disaffected with the Democrat Party and basically declaring that they are not going to vote for Democrats anymore. Okay, they're leaving the Democrat Party. F you to the Democrats is what some of these voters are saying. And the reason why they're saying that is because apparently Joe Biden and the Democrat Party have not been woke enough for the young voters. Take a look.
Hi, my name is Kyle. I have been a registered Democrat for the last 22 years. I have voted in every election up and down from the state to local level that I could vote in. I campaigned for John Kerry and Barack Obama. This message is for the Democrats. I fucking hate you. I hate the fact that you've bamboozled us for so many years, touting progressive policies and giving us nothing. I hate the fact that there are so many broken campaign promises. I hate the fact that you've weaponized our rights to scare us into voting for you. I hate the fact that you failed on protecting reproductive rights. I hate the fact that you support economic policies that actually produce the conditions that make fascism viable, and you don't admit that. I hate the fact that you're classist and not actually egalitarian. I hate the fact that you don't support Medicare for all, housing for all, affordable to free secondary education. I hate the fact that you tout small incremental changes to the fabric of our society as a resounding success when people are still economically struggling and hungry. I hate the fact that you won't call a genocide a genocide. I hate you for supporting policies that produce more bombs and not food. I hate you for supporting the status quo and not for doing the right things to make everyone's life better. I hate the fact that you're not mature enough to receive criticism. And I hate the fact that you criticize the rest of us for being idealistic and wanting better for everyone. And I hate you for blaming your failings on procedural precedent, a majority of which is nothing more than rules that are holdovers from the Reconstruction era and Jim Crow. I hate you. And you lost my vote, and you lost many people's vote, and that's your fucking fault.
So you seen that, you heard that. Okay, you seen that, you heard that. Democrat Party not woke enough. Okay, this is music to my ears. And why do I say that? Well, the reason why I say that is because this is what Democrats deserve, right? This is what they deserve, okay? Because they are the same party that went along with trying to court these voters who clearly are radical extremists, and their party has become radical extremists as a result of it. However, you can't be extreme enough for the extremists that believe that if you're not aligned with them 100%, then you are far right. But that didn't stop the Democrats from making all types of crazy promises to this group of voters that they knew that they couldn't keep because, again, they just wanted to vote that bad, right? And the one thing that they did campaign on is Orange Man Bad, right? Orange Man Bad in 2020. However, that's not going to help them in 2024 because a lot of people are not falling for the trick anymore, right? They're not falling for this nonsense from Democrats that a Trump presidency is so much worse than a Biden presidency when we have the current results that we have now from the Biden presidency, which is a disaster. In my opinion, I think Trump had the greatest presidency that we've seen in probably 20, 30, 40 years. Okay. I think that Trump is up there as one of the best presidents ever. But I think without a doubt, though, Trump was better than Biden and that things are much worse under Biden than it is Trump. And I think what's happening here is that you're having a coalition of young voters basically saying, look, we're not going to vote for Biden because of these reasons that I don't agree with, right? I think that the right thing to do is to not vote for Biden because he's too left-wing, not because he's not left-wing enough. But again, this trend is showing up in a bunch of polls in which it's just not, random people on TikTok saying they're leaving the Democrat Party. You have this happening in mass among young voters. Take a look.
And we talked about younger voters on foreign policy, and it's true on a host of other topics. Disaffected with Joe Biden. We have 46% for Trump, 42% for Biden among the youngest voters. The youngest voters in the 2020 election were Biden plus 26. This could be a massive sea change.
So, John, let's look at some of these specifics here on our first graphic, and this is that fewer 18 to 29-year-olds plan to vote this time around. That's the fear of the Biden campaign, which is not that they're going to leap to Donald Trump, but that they just don't show up at all. So as you look inside here, it is true that more Republicans and independents say they won't vote. So is the Biden White House. Should they be feeling good this morning that at least Democrats, young Democrats, say they're going to go out and vote?
Well, that's certainly good news, Willie. But remember, there are more independents today than there were 4 years ago. So people are disassociating with the Democratic Party, specifically young people of color, young African Americans, and young Hispanics. Double-digit decreases in the number of young people who align with the Democratic Party today relative to 4 years ago. We spent a lot of time on this set and others really talking about voter suppression for good reason. This is about voter depression. And I think it's a calculated campaign from the far right to depress young people's turnout in politics, right? They're depressed about views of government. They're depressed about the views of both parties. And we can see the effect, I think, in the rise of cynicism at this point, a year out, they're less likely to participate in the campaign.
And John, I think
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? It is the far right's fault that young people don't want to vote for a pre-boomer, right? Biden, I'm not sure what the hell a pre-boomer is, okay? But this is how CNN describes Biden. It's the far right's fault that young voters don't want to vote for Democrats. It's not the Democrats' fault who made all these empty promises to young people. Young people who, in my opinion, are naive, okay? They don't really understand that much. And they just vote based off emotions. It's not the Democrats' fault for playing up on those emotions, boohoo-whining and crying racism, bigotry, and hate when it comes to any type of policy debate, not actually engaging in the actual policy debate. And then lo and behold, when you have a conflict like Israel and Palestine, now, again, you see the victimhood coalition finally fall apart because they all realize that, oh, we're not on the same team. Okay, our partnership or our alliance based off, hating on the white Christian man is flawed, right? It's a flawed thing, and this doesn't work. So again, it's the far right's fault, okay, that all of these Democrat voters are coming out and saying that the Democrat Party is not woke enough or that the Democrat Party supports Israel too much. Yeah, it's the far right, okay? Again, it's amazing how they blame all of the failings of the Democrat Party on the far right, right? When, me personally, I think it is true to say that, somebody like me, I'm not upset to see that young voters are sitting out, but I would much rather have young voters voting in the opposite direction, which I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen. But what I do know is that Democrats are not going to be able to use the same, orange man bad card that they used in 2020 to win in 2024. And this is a terrible sign for Democrats. But this is just the pendulum swinging the other way in politics, guys. This is a result of, again, over-weaponizing wokeness, over-weaponizing the bigotry card. And ultimately, that's destroyed the Democrat Party. I told you guys when this Israel-Palestine situation first started, I told you from the beginning, I was like, this is going to destroy the Democrats. This issue right here is going to destroy the Democrats because the victimhood coalition, a vast majority of them are on the side of Palestine, right? And they're extremely passionate about it. And then you have the establishment, okay, and the Israel lobby or whatever. They're also, they're on the side of Israel, okay? And there was going to be conflict, and that conflict was not going to be pretty, right? It was going to be a huge conflict because Democrats have allowed these people to be so radicalized that the only way that they know how to respond to any type of policy debate is by crying hate and bigotry and then rioting in the streets and destroying stuff, which is exactly what they're doing. But again, at the same time, the only way the Democrats know how to argue is by crying hate and bigotry, and they're basically doing the same thing. So you're saying both sides, okay, the establishment Democrats and their, progressive monster, right, that sides with Palestine, again, they're both throwing a bigotry card at each other, right? And it's glorious, right? It's glorious to watch. This is why I just sit back and I just say, hey, I'm not involved with it, right? I really don't have a dog in this fight. It's just entertaining for me to watch because I know ultimately at the end of the day, it spells disaster for Democrats going into 2024. They don't have a real reason to vote for Democrats, okay? They don't have a real reason. Biden has failed in regards to his promises on forgiving student loan debt, on all of the far left promises that he made during his campaign. He's failed on it. And then on top of that, when it comes to this Israel-Palestine situation, it's just too much. And I think that a lot of people know that Trump's presidency was a lot better than what the mainstream liberal media was telling us. And a lot of people are now saying, you know what? I might not like Trump as a person, but I'm either going to vote for him or I'm going to sit out. And it doesn't matter if they sit out, because if they sit out, that just means that's one less vote for a Democrat. And a lot of these Democrats, they may end up, supporting RFK or whatever. Who knows? But I'm just saying that this is great news, okay? If the young voters do not turn out to vote for Biden in 2024, it's over for him. He doesn't have a chance. Trump is going to win in a landslide. And I don't think there's anything that Biden can really do going into 2024 to fix this. I really don't. Like I said before, the longer that this Israel-Palestine conflict continues to go on, the worse that it's going to get, right? And it's getting a whole lot worse, right? The Democrat Party is currently in a civil war. For as much as they want to talk about the Republican Party, the Republican Party is not in a civil war. MAGA wins, right? MAGA ultimately ended in today is the Republican Party. But when it comes to the Democrat Party, I got questions. Is the Democrat Party the far left woke revolutionaries, or is it the slightly less woke revolutionaries of the establishment Democrats, right? Which one is it? I'm not entirely sure. I can't say, okay? But as far as I know, this issue right here is going to destroy the Democrats. And I think you're currently seeing it in the polls. Let's just hope that these people magically don't discover their Trump derangement right before the election, decide to go out and vote against Trump like they did in 2020. But, again, this is what happens when you overuse the bigotry card and you also run a guy like Joe Biden who nobody liked. He doesn't have a real solid base. And you overplayed the Trump hating card, right? You overplayed the Trump derangement card. Democrats just overplayed too many hands. And what happens in politics is that the pendulum always swings the other way when you do that. And that is what you're seeing happening with the Democrats. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.